Hello. So today we are going to do some charting exercise. So there are a few cool charts and there are some tricks to that. And we would like to show you those kind of charts and see if it is of some help to you. So before moving forward, I'll just give you some snapshots of the kind of charts we are looking at. So this is first kind of chart, and this is some sample data which we have downloaded, and we can come to those kind of data. So this is first chart. When we look at Chrome market share by month, and this is the data which actually tells us what kind of market share Chrome had over some period. There is one way of representation of the existing graph is with the average method. So if there is a particular date which is a cutoff date, so let's take March 2020, which was the beginning of pandemic, what we see in global landscape. So when we look at this data, we find that so this is the overall data. Then we try to look at the average. So we look at the average for first some time period before this, and then we just drag the same value because ultimately this average is the representation of these values out here. And we look at the post effect. So we look at this data, and when we try to create a chart, it will look like this. So it gives a clear understanding if there is a minor impact of any of the incidents or what. Not necessarily I am mentioning that this is because of the COVID pandemic, but after this tenure we see there is an increase in Chrome market share. There is also decrease in some of the months, and we could do some post analysis, look at what are the other browsers which have gone up. It could be multiple things. So this is what we are going to achieve in Excel. So we'll try to create the same thing here in this sheet, and we just go ahead with this. So first we Google this browser market share. So we get this data out here. But this data is only from June. So we are looking at some data which is prior to this. So what we need to look data from here. So we go here, we edit charts, and so the time period what we are looking at is from 2119. So we look at January 2019. View chart, and we just download this data from here. So I have already downloaded this data out here. So this is the data. These are other browser market share. So we clearly see there is an increase in Safari. So probably the market share which is being lost by Chrome has been gained by Safari. It looks like that. Don't see any other browser which has that kind of impact. So the Safari is driven by Mac. So one way to look at this, we could also look at the Mac platform-wise market share. So in the same way. So first we go here, we copy this data, we go to the same Excel, we go here, and we paste this value. Now we create average equal to go here till, and we just drag this down. Now this is the time period when we want to do a comparison after this time period. So we just delete this data. We do average, this. So because these are all reference to the previous values, this will always be positive like this. So now we go here, insert, control shift, arrow key down. These are some of the shortcuts what you need to know. So whenever you want to come down, so one way could be that you select shift and do this arrow key down. The other option is that you do control shift, arrow key down. then it will just select the right amount of data. Insert, we go here and we do a combo chart. So what we do here, so if it doesn't show here, so for example, you go here and you take this chart. Let's try to change this chart. So we go here, chart, change chart type, and then we do a combo. So it could be anything. You could probably see like something like this. It depends on what kind of charting you are using. So it could show like this. So what we do here, we just draw the second one will be in terms of line. So this is like line. We go here, we say OK. So now it looks somewhat like this, but still a long way to go. Right mouse click, select data, and now we look for the axis label range. So this is the axis label range. Okay. So now this orientation depends on what kind of distance and what is the size of the chart. So we want to fix this. We don't want a scenario that it keeps shifting like this. So format axis, and we go here. We do -45°. So it's like this. Now we take this on top. We change this with the double click, saying that Chrome market share by month. Okay. Now we also try to put axis here. Chrome market share by month. This is the axis label. So we go here. So we chart design. Primary axis title. Okay, so now this is the one. Double click. Share by month. We can do some beautification looking at this data. Now there are some templates, ready-made templates out here. You can just select any of them. So we just select this. Now this one is getting overlapped. We just do this. So now this gives exactly the same chart what we have here. The other chart is that we wanted to show that in a separate color. These values we just wanted to show in a separate color. So for that, there is a trick for this. We copy this entire data here, Control C, Control V. We don't want to average here, we just remove this. Now we look at the data from where we want to see this change happening. So this is the data we do again. We just select this and we drag it here. Now what we do, we just select this entire date range. We insert here and we try to create a track chart. So now we don't need series 1 or 2 because there is only one series. We just delete this. Right mouse click, select data. Again we go here and we just put this. So now again we go here, format axis, alignment. This would be -45. We could go here, make this chart like this. Again we say Chrome market share by month. We go here, we select this, chart title, axis, primary vertical. Share month. Now these two charts look fairly different from each other, and the reason being that is that in this chart it starts from 59 and this chart starts from 0. So the variations here is not that evident, which is clearly visible out here. So what we can do here, we go here, right mouse click, for the format axis. We can also start this from 60. So now this chart, these two charts look almost similar to each other than the fact that um, these are two different colors. And in most cases, when we'd like to see we made some changes and there is some impact and we want to evaluate those impact clearly. So now what we can do, we can generally copy these and paste in PowerPoint presentation. If you want to showcase these kind of nice charts, we could do like this. So one more thing before we conclude this session. In some cases, what happens, so we go here, select data, select data. Sometimes what happens, by default it is selected here. So what will happen, so your chart will look like this. It will not make sense because it's not zero. We just wanted to have a gap. For this, we go here, select data, and we say gaps. Whatever is empty, we want to show it as a gap. So that will be all for now. Thank you for watching.